Deus Ex: Mankind Divided is a cyberpunk RPG game available for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. I've finished the game on the PlayStation 4, so I can't speak for the quality of other versions. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided was developed by Eidos Montreal and published by Square Enix. First off, I just have to say that Deus Ex: Mankind Divided is a brilliant game. One of the best, if not the best game that came out this year. You play again as Adam Jensen from Human Revolution. The game is set 2 years after the events of Human Revolution. It's year 2029 and shit is happening between non-augmented people and augmented people. That's how I would describe the story in the shortest possible way. Your main hub in the game is the city of Prague, which is heavily policed. I don't want to spoil anything story-wise, but I'll just say that the story overall is good and interesting. You can have different endings depending on the actions you took during critical story moments. Gameplay in Deus Ex Mankind Divided is the strongest point of the game. In one word, it's awesome. It's awesome as fuck. The best the best way to have a true Deus Ex experience is to play the game stealthy, like it was intended. You have a range of lethal and non-lethal options at your disposal. You have pretty much the same AUGs you had in Human Revolution, with the addition of experimental AUGs. Experimental augmentations are AUGs that you discover at the beginning of the game, and they range from lethal to non-lethal. The interesting thing about experimental AUGs is that they overclock your system, forcing you to permanently shut down one of your other AUGs in order to work properly. It's a great system, but you can also have experimental AUGs without shutting down other AUGs, if you do a certain side quest, which I won't spoil. The best experimental AUG, in my opinion, is the remote hacking option. It's incredibly useful and becomes a must for later levels. You can hack turrets, security cameras, or even manipulate window shutters to open alternate routes to your objectives. There are also some other new AUGs as well, like Nanoblade, which shoots knives into enemies, Icarus Dash, which propels you forward, and it's similar to Blink from Dishonored. There's also the Titan Shield AUG and a Tesla Shock AUG, which lets you incapacitate enemies using electricity, and it's very useful for a non-lethal playthrough. I mostly upgraded hacking, batteries, Icarus Dash, Smart Vision, Invisibility, and remote hacking. Your main hub in the game is Prague, and you do travel to other locations like London, Gotham City, Dubai, and others. There's also a lot of side quests for you to complete if you're into that. Missions themselves are awesome. It's up to you completely how you want to complete an objective. There are different routes to take if you have the right AUGs. You can play it entirely stealthy or go full guns blazing, or you don't even have to kill anyone. It's entirely up to you. Gunplay is great in this game if you want to play it that way. A nice amount of weapons, grenades and other stuff. I mostly relied on non-lethal takedowns and I used a tranquilizer rifle and a stun gun for close quarter stuff. Enemies are actually smart in this game. They will try to flank you, but they kinda go mad if they're near a staircase. I don't know why. One minor thing I have to mention is when you're in Prague, the cops will stop you at certain places and ask you for papers, which triggers an unskippable animation you have to watch every fucking time. Graphics are pretty good on the PlayStation 4. Everything runs smooth with some minor frame rate drops in Prague when shit gets graphically intensive, but nothing game breaking. Art style is fantastic, especially Prague. That Eastern European architecture mixed with cyber stuff and neon. Pretty cool. Overall, Deus Ex Mankind Divided is one of the best games I've played this year. It's a solid 15 to 20 hour experience, and it's really just a great game. It's a proper sequel to Deus Ex Human Revolution. If you're a fan of stealth games, Deus Ex games, or just a fan of well-designed and made games, you owe it to yourself to go out and buy Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Brilliant game.